now. Okay. Well, we're not going to talk about that.
Well, I finally got you on your own trick.
Yeah, there you go. Dave just hit hit record without telling me. So welcome back to the Project Gen X podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Alan Smith, along with...
I'm the other guy, Big Dave.
And it's just the two of us today. We had some...
Guess who didn't show up?
To be fair, life happens. So,
I know. I'm giving him crap.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the first time you've actually been in studio in
2 weeks.
3 weeks, actually.
3 weeks, yeah.
So...
thanks to the vid.
And...
I never got it.
Yeah,
I never got it. I was trapped in the house with the wife for 10 days or better,
and you both survived. So
and
didn't kill each other. So
she had the full on vid and
yeah.
did very well with it. Didn't have any problems. She still hadn't gotten her smell back, I don't think.
Yeah,
I never got it. Multiple negative tests. Not a sniffle.
I got
like a little bit of a cough, but I think that's more from my CPAP machine.
Right at about 2 years ago now, when it was first starting.
Yeah,
I got it right early on. And it's funny because, like, all the stuff that they said about, like smell and the taste and all that stuff, I never lost my sense of smell. I never lost my sense of taste. But I felt like absolute hell for about 8 days.
Yeah.
I mean, just solid.
You could tell she felt like crap.
Yeah, I mean, just like, I don't know if I'm going to survive this. Like, I've been sick like that before.
I don't think she was that bad.
I've been sick a couple of times where I've caught the flu, and been sick, but nothing like this. But the thing is it was still so early on that I didn't even know it. It wasn't until an antibody test came back like well over a year later that I had the antibodies, and it was like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's what that was, because it was such a weird, I was getting over something already. I had gotten strep throat. And like legit, like I went into the doctor and they did the culture, like, oh yeah, you got strep. And then right as I was almost as I was getting over that was when I got hammered by COVID.
Yeah.
And that happened to a couple other people I know. One of them with strep throat, and another one they were sick with something else and then got COVID. And it's like, yeah, it takes advantage of a weakened immune system, and but
it's weird. Normally I'll catch a cold or at least like a sinus infection during the winter.
Mm-hmm.
Like every winter, it's almost clockwork, and I'll do it again in the spring.
Right.
And I haven't had anything,
dude,
since like 18.
My allergies.
Now my allergies
have
suck.
been terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, terrible. And it's this whole, for those of you who are not from Tennessee, we're right here at the end in the middle of February, I guess. And in Tennessee in February, the weather messes with everybody.
Yeah, it'll be 70 one day. It'll be 14 at night. It'll be 45 during the
literally
day.
just a few days.
65 at night. It'll be 102 the next day.
Just a few days prior to us recording this, it was 72 degrees.
It'll be Hoth level weather in the evening.
Right, and it was 27 that evening.
I think I saw a Tauntaun that evening.
I mean, yeah, but that's crazy to go from 72 to 27.
Yeah,
in about a 12-hour period, basically. And, and of course we had bad storms. Luckily, no tornadoes this time.
Yep.
But we're entering that time of the year where it's, look, there's a cold front coming through. So that means we're going to, since it's 80 degrees outside right now, that means we're going to have tornadoes.
Or straight line winds.
Yeah, or straight line winds or something, microbursts or any number of things. And it's just wow. The late winter all the way through spring in Tennessee is such a
volatile.
It is.
There's no other way to describe it. It's volatile.
Vegas should take odds on what the weather's going to be like.
They would definitely be taking everybody's money.
Because
I saw a meme the other day that said Tennessee weather throwing numbers out there like the lottery board.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's true. So. But yeah, no, we're back, and we're kind of we were planning on doing a getting to know you Barry episode, but he's not here. We will get that out here soon because we've done those for us in the past.
Yeah.
Go back to our very first episode, no, it was like our fourth episode.
It was like four episodes because we covered some shit.
Yeah, just some stuff with us that
some shows, movies, that type
right,
of thing.
and then it's a. And also, I'll tell you, I mean, I've known Barry longer than you have.
Yes, you have.
But there's still a lot about Barry I don't know. I mean, it's because we have gone like long periods of time without hanging out in the past.
Yeah.
And then
how'd you meet Barry? How long you known Barry? Let's hear this story.
That's a good and we may have to wait till he's here for him to.
Yeah, okay.
Because I met him, I want to say 2009-ish, somewhere around. It was right before I got sober.
Okay.
And I think it was, we've talked about our friend Bristow that died, that year.
Yeah.
And I think it was right around that. Like, I either met him right before or right after Bristow died because he was friends with. Bristow knew everybody. I mean, Bristow was one of those dudes that, like, you sit down, you start talking to him, and it's like, oh, you know someone, oh, you know someone, oh, wow, you know someone's. I mean, just on
one
and
of those
on
guys,
and on and on and on. And, I've told the story multiple times over the years since it happened, back 06, 07, somewhere around there when he and I first really started hanging out.
Yeah.
We literally one night sat at Red Door East for 2 hours. And I asked him because I had noticed, this is back in the MySpace days, Yeah. And I don't do it as much now, but especially back then, I used to love going to people's friends list and seeing who they knew that I knew.
Right.
Like, okay. And so I was like, oh, so how do you know this person? And I was like, well, if you know them, then you know, yeah. And then yeah. And it just kept going on and on and on and on and on and on, like through multiple friend groups, through over multiple years of spans of time.
So
and
you've
everything.
kind of been circling each other's
and it was,
and
if I said it once that night, I said it 100 times. I was like, how have we never met before? I mean, like, just.
What's funny is that story is very similar to me and Miss Nays because we had been running in two separate friends groups around each other for years, and somehow,
and I was involved in one of them.
Yeah, you were. And we'd ended up sitting next to each other
at a concert. Yeah,
well, at a concert, but also at a party.
Oh yeah,
and never talked to each other.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's just I remember years ago seeing an article in. Remember all Nashville Rage magazine, that little weekly, it was kind of like, it was a little weekly free mag, like.
It was more of a zine than
it was because it would tell you about what was going on around Nashville and everything.
Yeah.
But I don't remember who it was that wrote it, but someone talking about, and this was like 15 years ago, talking about how Nashville was so incestuous of, like, people know he's like, you've either played in a band with them or you slept with them. I mean, it's just kind of one of the, and it's kind of like, it's kind of true in some ways, it's figuratively,
more true for you,
I guess. Yeah. But it's more true for some other people I know, believe me. But I am definitely, as they say, Eskimo brothers with some people that I didn't even plan on that happening, where I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. So, but yeah,
moving right along.
Hey, I will hang all my dirty laundry out to dry. I don't care. But it's that was definitely. It wasn't just Bristow. It was some other people in one of the groups he hung out with. That's where I met Barry, and again, there was kind of this whole. One person in particular that I stopped hanging out with in the aftermath of all that.
Sure.
That I wound up not hanging out with like one group of people because of it for a while. But then Barry kept kind of cycling back through.
Yeah.
Just periodically like, oh hey man, yeah, oh yeah, cool, and we've been friends ever since.
Nice.
So we're just it's kind of like it's the story of so many of my friends.
Yeah.
Of the people that not just acquaintances, but like actual friends, where I'm like, oh yeah, we may not see each other for 6 months or a year, but then as soon as you're back. It's like we have that story. Me and Corey have that story.
Any really good
Kim
friends
have that story.
Are like that anyway. I mean, you can not talk to him for like 2 years,
and then you're just right back.
And then you go to dinner with them, and it's like you saw each other yesterday.
Right. That's what I've always said about Kim. She's living in Hawaii now.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I'll ever see her again, but I guarantee you if we're ever in the same room, it could be 20, 30 years down the line, it will be like no time passed with her because we have always been that way.
Absolutely.
Always been like that.
Well, there we go. We've got a tease of getting to know Barry.
That's right. So
because Barry didn't show up today.
That's right. Hey, I know.
I'm just giving.
I know
him
you're giving him a hard time. I'm listen to this.
I'm
like,
picking
hey,
on him. I'm picking on him because he's not here to defend himself.
We elevate you to a feature player, and then you immediately decide not to show up.
just like it's just exactly like something Alan would do.
Yeah, it kind of is. Oh, you're giving me a full-time job. I need the next 3 weeks off. So it's
Yep, exactly.
let's be honest. Anytime that I've ever been in a job interview, and or like been offered a job, and I'm looking at the benefits package and stuff, I'm sitting there, I'm literally like, okay, so when does vacation kick in? All right, how many days, how many sick days do I get? How soon can I start taking those? It's.
I really need to take some days off from work right now, but the situation at work is such that if I took days off, it would really cause a problem. And so, honestly, my stress level is out the roof right now.
Oh, while we're talking about jobs,
I
think I had mentioned on here before that I'm on the latest season of Rental Return podcast. Where they're talking to people who worked in video stores,
right?
That had stories, and so
how did that go?
It went really well. Like, of course, we did that recording like back in June or something like that. The last episode just aired, or as far as I know, the last episode, like as far as all the interviews with people, because I know I've heard everything that I said up to now. I think that, they might do like because I know they did this with season 1. They may go back and do like a rundown of stuff that they liked or that they learned everything. But yeah, I've gone back and listened to them as they've come out, because the thing is like I'm only one person on there. I mean, I think there's about 10 people that they interviewed.
Okay.
And so it's one of those things where they had these standardized questions, like how what's your earliest memory of video stores? What's how did you get the job? What's something that happened in this, what's some crazy story that happened or what, and it kind of stuff. And so it's one of those things that you get everybody telling their version of that, so it's really interesting. It's also the fact of, like I worked there in the late 90s, like right before DVD became a thing. Like it was just becoming a thing that people were actually starting to talk about when I left. Other people worked at their video store in like the 80s. Or the very early 90s, or in the 2000s when everything was closing, type stuff, and they all worked for different, like I worked for Movie Gallery. A couple of people in there worked for Blockbuster. One of them I think worked for Hollywood. Several of them worked for like a mom and pop place.
Those are the best.
Which they are. They really are. And I would encourage you go look up the Rental Return podcast. It's with the Retro Network is what it's on. They also do another great show that I listen to called Wizards, which is about Wizard Magazine. Yeah. Which is awesome because they basically started with issue 1 and they're going through like talking about, and like they're up to issue 50 now, But what's really cool is that in doing that show and with reaching out to people on Twitter, they actually got people who worked for Wizard Magazine, like some big names of people that that and like they're trying really hard to get Gareb Shamus, who was like the owner of the thing.
Really,
like apparently
on the episode.
Apparently, they have exchanged some emails, but they haven't. But it's really kind of cool to like these people talking about this is what it was like to work at Wizard Magazine in the 90s, type stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is really cool. I enjoy this quite a bit. So, but yeah, go check them out. I'm always up for, granted, I know for a fact they have a much bigger audience than we do, but it's still one of those things where it's like, go listen to, anytime I hear a new podcast that I'm like, oh no, this is well worth listening to.
I go and check them out.
Go check them out. And any of that stuff on the Retro Network. Yeah, I know. Any of the stuff on that Retro Network is really good. They've got several. They got another one where they get this thing where they're getting these old. I think it's called wax packs or something like that. And basically, what they're doing is they're getting like old, like sealed packs of like baseball or movie cards or something like that, and they're opening them and talking about what they're finding. I think they also have a YouTube where they do this stuff.
Gotcha, do it on video.
It's really cool. Like a lot of the stuff that they're doing over there. Like it's kind of another one of those. When I was interviewing with what's the guy? I can't remember the guy's name. That's like the host and everything. I told him straight up. I was like, look, I've gone and looked at what you guys are doing on your network and stuff, and I'm here to tell you right now that I had ideas for several of these before, and it's especially the Wizard, because I was like, I still have all these old Wizard magazines. I thought it'd be kind of cool to go through these and kind of like do a rundown of everything, and then of course Wizards is out there. There was many years ago. I had an idea for doing something where it was like, hey, why don't we just kind of go through the year in pop culture, 10, 20, 30, 25 years ago, whatever it was. It wasn't anything really rounded out. And then shortly after that, 20, 30, 10 started on, with Laser Time Network. And I was like, and that's pretty much the exact same thing. And it's one of those things where nobody's stealing, obviously it didn't. It's just like those ideas get out there. And
then somebody
actually picks it up and runs with it. And it's like, there's been many of those.
So you're blaming me is what you're saying. No. Because I wouldn't do this.
No, actually, the thing is that
we were doing.
No, because the thing is I had other people that I was supposed to do podcasts with, you know, that didn't ever materialize for one reason or another, and some of it was my own, like, oh yeah, let's do this, and then somebody else picked up the ball and ran with it before I ever actually.
You just had to wait for me to blow my knee out and be on heavy pain medications to get me started.
Well, yeah, that was kind of it. And,
so I had blown my knee out, and I'd had a little surgery done on one of my knees, and I'm at home
for a while,
drugged out of my head on prescription pain medications, and then one day we get,
hey, we're gonna record a podcast.
Hey, we're gonna record a podcast right now. I'm like, all right, dude,
yeah, sure,
great, sure, whatever.
And we recorded.
And you'd already posted
the first 4 episodes of it. Up there?
And started
first 3 episodes
before I was really sober again.
Yeah, something like that.
Medication. Now I blame this on you.
Yeah, well, you go back to listen to those first couple episodes. They're fun.
Evidently,
you can hear the fan in the background, your ceiling fan,
the pull chain on.
Yeah, the pull chain on there, clicking, click, 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 click.
Yeah.
And then we moved here.
I'm laid up flat on my back, knee in the air, microphone down in my face.
Like, we watched.
Kind of feels a little.
I told you to watch The Crow.
That way.
I told you to watch The Crow. And then I came over and we watched a couple episodes of
X-Files.
The X-Files. Yeah. And then we also did I told you to make a list of bands that never made it that should have.
Yeah.
And we recorded all 3 of those episodes, like, just
bam, bam, bam.
I think we did 2 of them the first day, and then I came up there again like a couple days later.
Yeah.
So that we had those we already had them, banked, and then we started recording the rest of them. And we've been doing it ever since. So and I do still have the original recording that we did here.
Episode 0.
Episode 0.
You found it?
Yeah, I found it. I found it on my computer when I was switching computers, like when I was pulling everything. I finally found that episode, and I've listened to it. It's okay. It's rambling, but it's fun.
Well, it's like one of these episodes.
Well, yeah, but let me tell you about rambling though. This thing goes from topic to topic to topic to topic to topic. So
you got to give it to me. Like, put it in a WAV file, and we'll post it as a Discord extra.
We might do that. I've got it as a WAV file already. That's how we recorded it. Okay. So it's been one of those things that I've kind of been sitting and been like, I wonder if we can at some point release this as a bonus, somewhere.
So we make it a Discord exclusive.
We could maybe do that. I'll have to see if we can do that. I'm sure we can do that. I don't know. It's, and it's also, like, I think Barry asked me last time he was over here, when we were going to record, if we thought about doing Patreon. So I'll be honest, we don't have the audience for that. We could do it.
We could try it.
But the thing is that I think most of the people that listen to us, we know. Like, there's a few that we don't. I mean, obviously, there are some people that we don't know that listen. But for the most part, I think if we really could get the numbers, like if we were actually given, like, okay, this person, it's like, yeah, we know all of them. We've basically duped our friends and family into listening to this.
I will tell you this, though. We are kind of looking at maybe getting into some merch. Maybe doing some stickers or something.
I'll definitely want to do some stickers at some point. But we really got to start growing the show. I mean, it's just fun to do, and I'm glad that we have the interaction with the audience that we do.
We love you guys.
Yeah, we do, and but we want a bigger audience. I mean, that's kind of the, it's. You'll make it.
Hang on.
There we go. Use our
Yeah.
our mute button there.
I think it's still getting picked up on yours, but
I may have. But yeah, it's just it is what it is. Honestly, and we have not done any
marketing whatsoever.
Marketing
It's all word of mouth.
No promotion.
This is all our audience fault.
Exactly.
So thank you so much.
Exactly. All the audience that we have has happened
because of our
serendipitously
audience.
more than anything else. Yeah. Where it's just they found us. It's
and we love you guys for spreading the word. Absolutely.
And
since you're talking about other podcasts,
I was going to say spread the word. Go to whatever. Podcast aggregator that you use, whether it's Apple Podcast or it's Overcast or it's Podbean or whatever.
Please go leave us a review.
Go leave us a review. Go leave us a like. Give us a
We're begging.
Yeah, I mean it's
not above
all that
begging.
stuff that costs you nothing and it does everything for us.
I'll get down on my knees and beg. I'm not too proud.
Dave,
for
we don't
this.
want to see you on your knees. Okay?
I will beg. Since we're talking about other podcasts,
yeah. Okay, go ahead.
John from Gen X Grown Up.
Mm-hmm. He was on something recently, wasn't he?
Well, he pointed something out a while back that we have not discussed.
Oh, the other other Alan and Dave.
John has discovered another podcast with another Alan and Dave.
That's Gen X.
That's Gen X, and honestly, I'm feeling a little. Hey, we were here first.
Yeah, well, we've definitely been around longer than they have, but I've listened to a little bit of it. Yes, what is it? Gen X.
It's Gen X mixtape.
Mixtape. That's what it is. Yeah,
and. Yeah, I've listened to a little bit of it.
Yeah, we've listened to it. I mean, they're not bad. It's some of the stuff that they've done. They definitely go a little deeper on some music than we do.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, it's. I like the fact that they do themed episodes. This is a breakup mix. I also like that they have rules where they can't use the same band and the same song.
It doesn't matter if we have rules or not. You're one of the first ones to break.
Oh, please. Don't even give me that, okay? You were the one that I would set these rules. I had to specifically say that you would not be able to choose the Motley Crue song in our hair metal if you didn't follow the rules. That was because I knew that would hit you where you lived. So it was...
All right.
Because I come and say, hey, make your 80s, your top 10 80s songs, and you go and give me 400 songs or something. Wait a second, this is.
I did the best I could. I think because there's another Alan and Dave out there, we need to probably get a hold of these guys.
Yeah, and what's funny is that
get them on the podcast.
What's funny is that Alan spells his name the same way that I do.
Have a Dave and Alan off.
There you go.
Find out who's the most Dave and who's the most Alan, and get the guys of Gen X or Grown Ups Gen X to
moderate.
To moderate. I want Mo on my side.
You want Mo on your side. There you go.
He seems to be the most reasonable.
It's one of those things that I think of the three, I would want John on my side, but I would probably wind up with
George.
With George.
George would fight the hardest for you.
He would, absolutely. It's
George is the fighter of that group. He would fight the hardest for you unless he doesn't like you.
Right.
And then
he might still be mad because I called out his Kit Kat. I don't know.
His Kit Kat, his
I called out quite a bit of stuff on that in my email. So, but I wound up agreeing with him though. That was the thing.
Well, on the horror movie debate, it was all George. George was right about every single bit of it.
He really was.
And I will. On the horror movie debate that they did, I would stand behind George every single time because he was right about all of it.
He was. Now, as far as kids' pizza places, he is 1,000% wrong.
Well, we can't.
We
can't all be perfect.
Because Showbiz is the superior pizza place. There is no ifs, ands, buts about it. So.
Sorry, George. I tried to save it. Yeah, he had to take it right back there.
But yeah, no. It's we've. And right now would actually be, since March Madness is coming up, would be a great time to do this. Yeah. I have been trying to put together well, I started putting it together last fall as we were getting into all of our Oktoberfest stuff, which means it went on the back burner for a while.
Yeah.
Of putting together brackets for a Gen X movie tournament.
Yeah.
To find out what's the most Gen X movie. And of course, there are rules on that too. It's not just what movie does Gen X love the most? It's no, what movie about Gen X is the most Gen X movie? So it's like Ghostbusters wouldn't be on that, even though it's a Gen X movie,
right?
But because it's not about Gen X, whereas The Breakfast Club would be on that, because that is squarely about Generation X.
Yes.
So it's and it's that kind of stuff. And I've got 32. We could probably expand it out to 64 like they do in the in the NCAA tournament.
I think that would be overkill.
But the problem is coming up with 32 more movies that are directly inside of the guidelines would be a problem. We could find stuff that were kind of like neighbors to it, or tangentially related, but I don't think we could ever actually get 64 true movies directly about Generation X.
Although if you could, we could maybe, get it sponsored by Nintendo.
Never know. No. Okay, talking about other podcasts. Okay,
sure.
On this. Okay, IGN. Okay.
Yeah.
You can say what you will about them. I go back and forth on them. I listen to their Nintendo voice chat podcasts. Okay.
Gotcha.
They've been running this thing where they've been doing they've been running a tournament of Nintendo hardware, like gaming systems, of who wins. Like they're basically, it's one of those things that they're letting their the people who they come to the website and stuff can vote. The fans basically can vote. They've been okay until this last week, and even they talked about there were some people that were really upset because one of the matchups was the N64 versus the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Ooh.
Oh, there's no ooh to it. The Nintendo Entertainment System is the better of the two.
You think so?
But the N64 won by quite a margin. And I'm like...
Okay, I want to hear because you played Nintendo more than I did. So I want to hear...
Okay.
I want to hear your opinion on why
Here's the
the
reason
Entertainment Center was better than the 64.
I want you to tell me all the games for the N64.
Well, like I said...
No. I want you to tell me what are all of the iconic games about for the N64.
I don't know. Because I was never...
Here's the thing. When you start talking about...
never allowed me to get Nintendo. I never could afford to get my own Nintendo.
When you start talking about the N64, okay, GoldenEye always comes up.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Even the
Mario 64,
the Nintendo poor kid has played GoldenEye.
Mario 64 comes up.
Yeah.
And Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Like those are your big okay, everybody talks about these are the games for the N64 that everybody goes to immediately. These games were... Let's go to the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Okay.
Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers 3.
Okay.
Probably one of the best games of all time. Okay.
Sure.
The Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda 2. Metroid.
Oh, Metroid. Yeah, I forget about Metroid.
Okay, and you start going down the line. I tell you, N64 also had, Donkey Kong Country was another one that was kind of a big game for them, okay?
Yeah.
But you just start going down the line of all of these games that were on the Nintendo Entertainment System that are iconic games. And Final Fantasy. The Dragon Warrior series. You got... of course, you get into their own proprietary stuff. But they're reporting all the, Excite Bike and Donkey Kong and Popeye and Mario and the original Mario Brothers.
Like I said, I was never able to.
But I'm just saying, when you look at the catalog of what was available, that as of right now, you could sit down and still play on the Nintendo Entertainment System, and it still be fun and it looks good.
Yeah.
As opposed to the N64 stuff, which was that early polygonal crap that it all looks bad.
Yeah.
None of it looks good. Okay. The biggest thing everybody always talks about with Mario 64 is but it was the first 3D Mario. Okay, awesome. It was the first 3D Mario. I have always found that game unplayable. It hurts my head to play it because of how bad the graphics are and the way.
So it sounds like
X-axis
the 64 may have won solely on the GoldenEye game.
I think the N64 won solely on the fact that it was people of a certain age voting on it, and that was the gaming system they grew up on.
Gotcha.
Because
I jumped straight from the Atari 2600 into the first PlayStation. I've got that huge gap in my game.
See, I went from the 2600 to the Nintendo,
to
the Super Nintendo, to the Sega Genesis. And then I didn't get another game system until many years later. I did finally wind up getting a PS1, like after it had been out for several years. But then but it really just kind of sat there. The only thing we ever did is that when Brody and I every once in a while would play NFL Blitz on it, and like
see, I had that
get
thing.
completely mad at each other,
and I loved it. You know, it was Tekken, it was Tekken 2, it was Tony Hawk.
The first, yeah,
I played the crap out.
Well, see, the whole thing is I got into that next. I got into that next generation of game with the Xbox. Like that was whenever I did go get another one, I decided, hey, I really want to get a new gaming system.
Yeah.
I got the original Xbox,
I still have my original Xbox.
Yeah, and
it's hooked up to my TV right now.
I love the Xbox. I mean, I know people are kind of like, oh, you know, the Xbox 360 was a better. Okay, maybe, but I still love that Xbox. You know, I wish that I still had one. Matter of fact, I had one of the Halo, the green transparent green ones.
I've got the original black with the green.
I know, and I love that design.
It was actually
a
gift. It was a gift to me, but from a bunch of friends when I graduated from community college and was transferring up to the college.
Oh yeah, we left Ball State.
Yeah. So,
and it was cool. And like you go back to that, and you know, again, you're looking at like Fable. You know,
I have all the Fables.
I know.
I love Fable. I love that game.
You know, I
people crap
that
all over
first
it.
Fable game.
Love Fable.
I loved it at the time. I don't think I would so much now because of the fact that it is on rails. You know, because it's not open world.
Yeah.
But Fable 2 and 3,
I
will put those games up against anything.
There was one day that I was having a really bad day, and I was playing Fable, and I was like 15 minutes into the quest or something, and I accidentally kicked a chicken. And I was like, you can kick a chicken in this game.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff you can do.
I ended up spending like 45 minutes just walking around
kicking chickens.
Kicking chickens because I'd had such a bad day. It's like, you little squab.
But back to the original, that was the whole, but what I'm saying is that when you look at the games that people talk about whenever they talk about the N64 as opposed to the games they talk about when they talk about the Nintendo Entertainments and the NES. One is far superior to the other.
Okay, you've convinced me.
You know, that's now the thing is in the next round, the N64 has got to go up against the Super Nintendo.
Well, it'll lose to that.
You would think, but
it better.
But again, because it's another. You go into what was available on each of them. You know, well the Super Nintendo had a much richer catalog of things. So it is what it is. Oh, Contra. That's another game we forgot about for the Nintendo.
Oh, Contra.
I mean,
I had a friend that would invite me over to play Contra all the time.
I know. I mean, there is just, like I said, once you start going down the catalog and what it did for gaming. Because you got to remember, like when in '83, when the video game crash happened, you know, people, like, the whole reason that the Nintendo Entertainment System is called the Nintendo Entertainment System and not the Nintendo Gaming System
is because video games had gotten a bad rap.
They had and retailers did not want to put them back because it was like, no, dude, we just got burned on all this stuff. We're not going to come back with with this. But I wholesalely remember the first time that I saw the commercial for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And being like, I got to have one of these. I have to have one of these. This is because the thing is that all the games they were showing looked exactly like the arcades. Now,
I asked for one, and my mom was like, "You've already got a video game system. Go play your Atari."
There are some Atari games that I still love. A few years ago, I really got into going back and trying to buy a bunch of the Atari games.
Dude, I've got a ton.
Oh, I've got
because
so many of them. It's not even funny.
I found a bowl of cartridges at a thrift store for like a quarter a piece.
Nice.
And bought the ones.
So many of those games are terrible, though.
Oh,
Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I will still. I mean, I can
Atari Circus.
I can sit and play Yars' Revenge for hours.
That's a good one.
I love that. That's probably of the Atari game. Like
I was an Asteroids guy.
See, I was
Cubert. I loved Cubert. I was terrible at it.
I like arcade Cubert a whole lot better than the Atari Cubert.
Yeah, but to be able to play Cubert at home.
I know. And it also was kind of cool the way that they were like, how do we do this? Oh, it's easy. You just turn the controller diagonally.
Yeah.
That's how you do this. It's like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
Nobody ever explained that to me.
Right.
I had to figure that out on my own.
Well, I had bought Spy Hunter.
Oh,
you know,
another good game.
which you have to have 2 buttons in
Yeah.
Spy Hunter to play that. Well, the way they got around it is that when you bought the Spy Hunter cartridge, it came with this tray that both of the controllers would go in.
Yep.
And you would hold it upright, and both buttons were right there. There was one on top of the other one. So basically, you're using the buttons off of both controllers, but you're only using one controller to.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty ingenious. That they figured out what their limitations were, and they worked around
them. Yeah.
Which I gotta say, the 2600 and the NES, and even the Super NES, and as well as the Sega Genesis, like once you get past the 16-bit era, whenever you started getting into the 64-bit,
Yeah.
and all that, whenever they were like, oh, we don't have as many limitations, we can do. I honestly believe the games weren't as good after that because they were like, we can do whatever we want to.
Yeah.
And when you're given unlimited, a lot of times you get more creativity when you're limited than you do whenever you have all the resources.
Well, it's like I said back in the DJ episode with Howard Stern. The reason that his show was so popular was because of the constraints he had to work around.
Exactly.
And it's the same thing with anything because
I agree.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Absolutely.
And if you have to get creative about how to do something, sometimes that's the fun part of it.
Absolutely. I agree with that. That's kind of the we are so all over the place here. That's kind of the internet of it all these days.
Well, yeah.
When you have everything at your fingertips 24/7, then you get bored really easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, think about it. Did we ever get bored when we were kids?
No, because we get kicked out of the house.
Well, not even just that, but I mean, it was just like
sticks to play with.
It wasn't even just getting kicked out of the house. It's like even if you were forced inside,
well, yeah,
always find something to do. There was nothing. I mean, it was just like whatever.
You had your Hot Wheels or your Matchbox cars, or you had a board game, or there
was something on television.
Something on television. Yeah. Later on, it was D&D.
You,
all you needed for
D&D
was the instruction manual and some paper and pencil and some die, and you entertain yourself for days on end.
Right.
I kind of miss playing D&D. I don't really have a group to play with.
I've never played D&D. Now here's the thing.
Let me say this. I know of people that I could play with. It's finding the time to dedicate to being able to do something like that.
I never played D&D. Okay, something that I did get into in the late 90s when I was working at Hobbytown was the Warhammer 40K stuff.
I still know people who play Warhammer.
Oh yeah,
and it seems interesting. Well, it seems like they spend more time painting models than they do actually playing anymore.
That's a lot of that goes into it. There is. Let me see if I can find the name of it. I went to
wasn't there a room dedicated to learning how to paint models at Southern Fried?
Yes, there was
gaming convention.
Yes, there was because they cover.
I meant to go into that room at one point and check it out.
What is the name of it? I can't find it right off the top of my head.
But I found the room with all the expensive D&D dice.
Oh, I know you did.
Lost a day.
I know you did. I was like, buy them. Go ahead, do it.
I was lucky to get out of that room without
check these out.
spend my entire life savings.
I stopped into. I hesitate to call it a comic book store, but that's the way it started. But they also carry a lot of gaming stuff here. That I haven't been in a long time.
Okay.
That Comic City 2. It's actually where
I don't think I've ever been in there.
They've moved a couple of times over the years, and like I remember back whenever my original podcast we got started in there. Or actually, we got started in Fazoli's, and then we moved over there. Okay. And then that's where we were kind of based out of for many years. And it's changed ownership now, and and different stuff. But it's really started going more towards the gaming. But I hadn't been in there in several years.
Sure.
And I was up that way the other day, and I was like, I'm going to go in and check and see what they got going. They'd expanded the store. I was like, okay, this is cool. It looks like they're doing good. One of the things I discovered, because they've started carrying a lot of like the Warhammer stuff, Games Workshop. Something I discovered that I was like, no, son of a bitch, I'm probably going to get into this at some point. They have a Marvel superheroes game out now that is almost exactly like Warhammer.
Oh, no.
I know. And I'm like, oh, I don't need to spend this time of money and time.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
I kept looking at it and I'm going, no.
I need
No.
a new to me car. I need to do some fix to my computer or build a new
I
computer.
know, and I'm just like, oh no, why did I have to see this?
I really need a computer doc. I need somebody who I don't build computers,
Yeah.
and I need to learn, but I need somebody that can.
Just go buy a Mac, you'll be all right.
I
I can't believe that I have become a prophet from, or an apostle from Mac over the last 4 or 5 years.
I have basically stayed OS agnostic.
Yes,
my
I know.
entire
I know.
career. I use Windows and Mac.
Okay.
I really like the user interface on Apple. I do, but I'm so angry at what they're charging for their hardware.
I know.
To be able, and in doing
I know.
planned obsolescence to where you got to replace it every 3 or 4 years.
I had to replace mine recently.
I am going back to PC, and I'm going to have to teach myself or learn how to actually build and work on this crap myself. And
well,
I have zero knowledge on how to do it, and I need a guru.
It's like I've said many times. I was, the whole Mac and PC. I was in PC forever because I would look at, I really liked the Toshiba satellites, the laptops.
Yeah.
I owned like 3 of them over the years, and it was one of those things that like I literally would I bought one and used it until it just didn't work any longer, and then I went and bought another one and I used it until it just did not work any longer.
Yeah.
And they were, and I'm sure they're still good computers, because it's one of those things that the price point was always right there for me. Oh, I can get this computer that has this processor and this size hard drive and this size, the RAM, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm paying a fraction of what I would pay for less with a Mac.
Yeah.
As time went on, especially going from XP to Vista, which
Vista sucked.
Vista did suck, but after Vista did some patches and fixed a few things, it wasn't as bad as
It was still terrible.
It was still not as good as XP. I'm sorry, XP was just great until they finally just said we're not supporting it any longer. Then they went to Windows 7, and Windows 7 fixed all the stuff that was wrong with Vista and added some stuff I really loved. But they immediately went from 7 to 10.
Which was Vista Part 2.
And ever since
when it was first
Windows
released.
went to Windows 10, I grew to hate Windows, because every time I would open my laptop, it seemed like there was always a new update that had to be done, and it would start doing the update without asking, and it would take forever. And then they would come back, a week later and be like, "Oh, we have new updates to fix what was wrong with that last update." It was constant. Well, it was constant.
When they first released 10, I hated it. I really did, and it wasn't until 2 or 3 years in that it finally got to a point where, okay, I can use this. This is not a big deal. The thing with the updates and all that you had to go in and you had to set your computer to schedule when updates would happen.
Do them at night, overnight.
And I would go in and I would schedule everything to happen on like a Friday night at midnight when I was dead asleep. So I didn't have as many problems with it. Occasionally you'd have an emergency patch where they make it. And it always happened as I'm setting up an event and we're trying to kick it off at work.
My mom, we got my mom several years back. We got her as a little like Chromebook, basically. And it had like, the hard drive on it was like 25 gig or something. It wasn't anything, but it was one of those things.
Basically an internet machine.
It really was. But the problem was it was running on Windows 10. And so they were always, we got to do this update. We got to do this update. Well, there wasn't enough hard drive space to do the updates.
Yeah.
Because even though she didn't have anything on it, because my mom literally was just using it for the internet. She wasn't putting like anything else. She wasn't downloading anything, blah, blah. And so it was one of those things that it was like, you can't, because the hard drive, even though this thing is supposed to be a netbook, basically, and because the hard drive isn't massive, you basically bricked this thing 6 months into owning a brand new one because of all these stupid updates. And I was like, no, this is dumb. I'm and so it was one of those things that when I finally did have an opportunity to purchase a used Mac, and I did it. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, this is what everybody's been talking about for so long.
Yeah.
you know.
But the problem
and
is,
the thing is I bought the Mac. The first Mac that I purchased was probably 6 years old at the time, and the amount of money that I paid for it was still comparable to what I would have bought a brand new Toshiba satellite for.
But that was back when an Apple laptop would last you forever.
Right. And I did. I had that laptop for a long time until last year when I finally, because of all the updates, it became obsolete. And I had to buy a new used
Cook
one.
And the bean counters at Apple, have worked in that planned obsolescence to where to get into a base level Mac.
It's ridiculous.
I'm talking about the desktop Mac. It's like $4,000, and you get nothing. Mm-mm. To get one that's fully built out to where I can use it for like video editing and all the other stuff is like $10,000. Mm. I'm sorry, I'm not paying.
Come on, why don't you have $10,000 laying around? You can do that.
I'm not paying double.
What's wrong with you?
I can't afford a $5,000 car right now. I'm trying to save up to get me a $5,000 car.
I know.
And they want
you're not trying hard enough. You are not dedicated enough to Apple to where you're going to drop that $10,000, and we're worried about you because of it.
Which is why I'm going back to the poor man's PC.
Which again, I have many times talked about the cult of Apple, and it is.
Yeah,
it's a lot of ways it is a cult, and it's so funny that I have a Mac and an iPad and an iPhone and all this stuff because I was so like anti-Apple for years, simply because of their followers more than anything else. It's
and if it wasn't for the fact that a lot of the AV stuff that I do and a lot of the mixing board applications that I use with the mixing boards that I use are solely Apple, so I need my phone to be able to interact with them, wirelessly when I can. Mm-hmm. I would completely be looking at a Galaxy S22 when it comes out.
Right.
I would be going back to Android. But because I've got to have that Apple product to interact with all that other stuff, because they won't write the applications for Android.
Right.
I've got to go back to Apple, which I'm not happy about.
Right.
I'm really... If I could get my hands on Tim Cook, I would stomp his toes as hard as I could because I'm so angry at the guy.
Right.
He's ruined that company.
Right.
He's made him $1 billion.
Yes,
I mean, he's made him a very successful company, but he doesn't give a crap about innovation or the user experience.
And the difference between him and Steve Jobs. Okay.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs was an asshole, straight up.
Yeah.
I mean, no, and like he would not deny that. But the thing is that Steve Jobs had this idea of what Apple was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And he didn't care if you liked him or not because he had a vision. Tim Cook has a bottom line.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. It's like he's a completely different asshole. He is a corporate asshole, whereas Steve Jobs was a kind of an artist asshole.
Well, he was a visionary.
Right.
A-hole.
Right.
Whereas Tim Cook is a corporate sellout bean counter.
Yeah. I agree with that.
How much money can we make for the investors?
Right.
It's not about innovation.
Nope.
It's not about, creating completely cool,
and
awesome
that was,
products that people can use and not have to worry about being
That was
up.
the big difference between Apple and Microsoft in the beginning.
Yeah.
Is that Apple was in it to help. They wanted to create something that was innovative and was looked at as a piece of art that would also push humans forward.
I really wish Steve Wozniak would do a violent corporate takeover of Apple and put the company back on track.
Back to where it was now. Whereas from the very beginning, what's his name? Microsoft.
Gates.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates wanted to take over the world.
What do you mean wanted to take over the world?
From the very beginning, that was his.
This guy still wants to take over the world.
Did you ever? Oh, what was the guy's name? There was he was a comedian. He's no longer with us. That had a great bit about Bill Gates. Talking about that he's like, how many times do you have to have your underwear pulled up to your ears and stuff in the locker before you decide you're going to take over the world with computers? It's like
the beginning of this villain story.
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly how a supervillain
is born.
And it's
and what the difference is from every account that I've ever heard, the Woz is probably one of the nicest people
absolutely
you've ever met.
Oh, dude, I've heard so many great stories about
Wozniak. I would love to meet
Wozniak.
this guy. He seems so cool.
Did you ever hear the story about Tetris?
No.
With him? Okay. back. This is circling back around to something we were talking about earlier. Nintendo Power Magazine.
Yeah.
Okay. When they used to do this really cool thing, like you could send in like your top scores.
Yeah.
And they would publish who that kind of stuff. When the Game Boy came out, Tetris was on there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Nobody knew this for years until like it was about a decade ago, and this is after Nintendo. It was right around the time Nintendo Power Magazine stopped publishing.
Sure.
He was like, yeah, if you go back and look at all the scores that were put up in Nintendo Power Magazine of like the high scores for Tetris on the Game Boy, he goes, they're all mine. He goes, as a matter of fact, if you look, you'll see the same name at the top, like all the way up to a certain point, and then it's somebody else, and then it's that name for a whole bunch. He's like, that was me also, because they stopped accepting my scores because I kept doing it all the time. So I just took the username that I was using and reversed it.
It's stories like this that make me love the Woz.
I know. It's just
the wonderful wizard, the Woz.
I know. That is a Steve Wozniak is one of those dudes I would love to like
sit down and have dinner with.
And I want to talk to him about like his phone freaking days more than anything else. Like the pre-Apple stuff.
Oh, that would be fun.
That's that's pretty interesting to me. I have some kind of weird fascination with the early days of computers, like the pre and the very early days, as but again with Bill Gates, the greatest thing Bill Gates ever did was sell a computer language that didn't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, quite honestly, he straight up sold that. That was their whole deal. Him and his I can never remember what his partner's name was back then, but it was one of those things that they legitimately sold a computer language that did not exist and then had to go and create it.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the whole, again, hey, we sold this thing, now we got to build it. And again, going back to that, necessity being the mother of invention of like, no, we just got a bunch of money for something. We have to figure out how this works. Yeah. So, and that's pretty cool.
And with the Woz, I wouldn't even have to talk computers with him. I just want to sit down and have dinner with him and hang out.
Yeah, there's that.
What what music are you listening to right now? What are you interested in?
Oh, I know.
I mean, that would be so cool.
I know. I agree.
Oh, you got it again.
Dude, man.
What'd you have for lunch?
I had Waffle House for lunch.
Oh, there you go.
Love me some Waffle House. Let me tell you something, guys and gals that are out there. If you want to eat clean, and by that I mean like if you're in keto or paleo or any of that kind of stuff, Waffle House is a wonderful place for that.
What?
Yes.
They have waffles and pie and
but you don't have to eat that stuff.
Yes, you do. If
no,
you
you
go
don't.
to the Waffle House.
I mean, because it's like this is my
it's a law.
This is my keto dinner that I have there.
You can't leave Waffle House without pie. That's against the law.
Yeah, I do all the time. But I will go and get like 2 eggs over easy, the pork chops, and have grits instead of hash browns.
That's a carb. It's corn.
It is, but it also is because of the protein that's in it. It's a net gain. So
I hate you.
I know. It's one of those things where you look at the fiber versus all the kind of stuff. It actually is a net on that. So it's one of those things that everything that I just listed right there, and I drink coffee black. So that's like a 0. There's nothing to it whatsoever. So it's one of those things that like you're looking at high protein and all of that stuff that I just listed, and it's filling and it's good. So
and here I am trying to lose weight, and I'm just hungry all the time.
Dude, I have been so hungry here lately. And I mean like, oh, I just want to eat. I'm like, no. Like I will all of a sudden just get this deep like growl in my stomach.
Welcome to my life. 24/7,
and I'm just
365.
Like, what in the world, and I've been eating a lot of cheese because, keto again, and that kind of, so that's kind of my, okay, well, I'll just go grab a stick of cheese and
well, you probably haven't been to the bathroom in weeks.
No problems, no.
No, I just...
I know everybody wants to know about my regularity.
No, my doctor got a hold of me. He wasn't happy with my diabetes numbers and sent me to an endocrinologist. Endocrinologist immediately sent me to a nutritionist.
Right.
Who immediately put me on a 2,200 calorie diet a day.
22 wouldn't be that bad for me. I know you're sitting here giving me the death Matter of fact, I would struggle with getting 2,200 calories in a day.
I could do that at a meal. I used to be able to do that at a meal. No problems, no big deal, and then eat a snack later.
Right.
But I was 6'2", 300 and almost 60 pounds.
Yeah, but you're also 6'2", which, you've got 6 inches on me, so that's...
Yep. Speaking of which, did you see the meme I tagged you in? Over on
which one?
Grown Up Gen X.
I don't know.
No, you'll have to go look at that later. That was.
Did you hear about the Tekken player that got kicked off the team this week?
No, hold on.
Okay.
But that being said, I have dropped down to when I got on the scale this morning. I was 327.
Yeah, no, I can tell you lost weight. I mean,
I've
that's 40 pounds. I mean, that's good. That's roughly 40 pounds. No, there was a professional Tekken player that played for like the Japanese and the esports stuff.
Yeah.
She was on the Japanese team that was basically canceled this last week because she tweeted out that what was it? It said short men shouldn't be allowed any human rights or something like that.
You must have been really offended.
Well, no, see, here's her thing. She said men under 5'5" should not be allowed human rights.
So you were almost.
I'm over 5'5". Okay.
Not by much.
I have 3 inches. I mean that's but it's
3 inches.
Yeah, I'm 5'8".
Are you sure?
I am flat-footed without.
You look all of 5'6".
Yeah, fuck off. But it's I.
You sure that's
it's
not
funny because
5'4"?
my it's funny because my ex-wife, because she was tall. I mean, she was 5'7", and she was always like, "You're not 5'8", you're not 5'8", blah blah blah. And of course, we had to like when we were getting life insurance taken care of.
Yeah.
They came out and did like all the measurements and stuff, and measured both of us. And sure enough, I was 5'8", and she was like, "I just don't believe it." I'm like,
"Was that
I've
barefoot?"
been telling you, yes, that was barefoot. And it's like I've been telling you every time I have
standing on
ever
an apple box.
No, every time that I have ever been in my adult life that I've been, because I stopped growing when I was in high school. When I've been in my adult life that I've been measured, it's always been 5'8". So I'm like, all right, fine. That's whatever it is. Who cares? Again, it goes back to the whole, there's nothing I can do about that whatsoever.
I just like
the only thing that's going to happen is I'm going to get shorter as I get older, because that happens. I mean, but yeah, that was her whole, apparently the story of what happened was that she had ordered a pizza.
Yeah.
And some dude that delivered the pizza asked for her phone number. And she got upset about it because apparently he was some short guy that asked for her phone number. And she said, had he been 6'2" and been like all muscular and everything, she would have probably given him the number. And it's like,
see that this isn't a height problem.
I know
this is a shallow problem.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to call it.
And that's something
there's a lot of women out there that are just shallow over this height thing.
Especially in the dating, like the dating app thing.
Honestly,
I'm telling you, more times than not, I see when I'm not any longer, but when I have been on dating apps,
yeah,
they're all, if you're under 6 foot tall, don't just swipe left. I mean, just like, and it's like,
I think if they're going to ask you how tall you are,
mm-hmm.
you should be able to ask them what they weigh.
Yeah.
What do you weigh?
I agree. I mean, it is what it is. It's like I've said many, many times. Look, I'm 5'8". I weigh more than I should. I'm bald. And the whole thing is, and I'm also not wealthy, okay? But here's the thing. 3 of those things I could do something about.
Yeah.
1 of them I can't. If I decide that I don't like the way that I weigh, or the way that I, the weight that I'm at, or that I'm not in good enough shape, I can do something about that. If I decide I don't like that I'm not making enough money, I can go get a better job.
Yeah.
If I decide, hey, I am so vain and so insecure in myself that a full head of hair is something that I need, I can spend thousands and thousands of dollars to get hair plugs.
Yeah.
I'm never growing any taller than I am. And so it's just, it is what it is.
All I'm going to say is that at 6'2" and fat,
mm-hmm.
I found me a girlfriend and I got married.
There you go.
And it.
Well, you know,
Even I've been heavy
5'8" and at least a little chubby at one point, and now really chubby. I can convince 2 different women to marry me. So.
Well, and what I found,
and I didn't slouch on either one of them. So.
I've been heavy my entire life. What I found is that if you're confident and if you're funny, and if you're willing to talk to anybody, it doesn't matter.
The shotgun approach.
Well, people are gonna hate on me for this, but when we would be out,
I know.
You know, my approach was, what's the worst I can say is no.
Right.
And I would go up, I'd be talking to somebody, and they'd be like, look, I'm not interested. And I would look them square in the eye and I'd go, why are you so picky? I'm not. And turn around and walk off. Well, one of 2 things would either happen. Well, one of 3 things would either happen. They would either just ignore me and let me walk off. She would get upset and come over and try to figure out what my deal was, and then get to talking to me, and then we would go out. Or one of her friends would be incensed for her and come over and talk to me, and I'd get her number, and then we'd go out.
You know, I'm going to... Screw you. Yeah. Looking at their meme. Yeah, whatever. There was this girl. We're going back 20 years now.
Okay.
Maybe actually longer than 20 years. That I met through mutual friends that you know as well.
Okay.
I don't know that you actually... Oh, actually, you know what? You do know who I'm talking about. We'll talk about it off camera, off mic.
Off mic? Ooh, yes. This ought to be fun. Is this going to be as good as the last one? Where I nearly fell out of my chair?
Maybe. She was not someone that I necessarily found attractive, but there was a little bit of something there.
Yeah.
You know, you get that every once in a while where you meet somebody and you're like, not really my type, but apologies up front, in a pinch she'd do. Okay.
Okay, that's not how I would have put that. That is
not because she was unattractive and not because of anything like that. She was just
not your type.
She was needy as everything. Okay. So
we may be getting to the root of the issue.
And so like the first time I met her, she was pretty bold. Okay. And it was one of those things that she never like was just like overtly hitting on me, but it was one of those things where I met her at a time, and especially on the night that I met her, where I was in a mood. Okay. And that's all I should really say is that I was in a mood. And so all night long, I was paying her backhanded compliments and negging her, and just, you know, because I was just having fun. I mean, you
were being your normal self.
I really was. You know, and it was one of those things, you know, and she was just so like, oh my God, why are you acting like, why are you being so mean to me? Blah, 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 blah. But then she'd come back for more. You know, I mean, it was just on and on and on and on and on.
I'm not going to make a comment.
Okay. And so it was one of those things that I had fun all night long, just like, just picking on her, like relentlessly picking on her. And it's funny because I honestly, at that point, I never thought that I would see her again. Well, for the next few years, she kept popping back up. And like literally, it was I would not see her for 6 or 8 months at a time or something like that. And then she'd show up and immediately she'd be like, you were so mean to me, blah, 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 blah. And I just started on her again. And the whole time going, I've so got her on the hook of I could do anything I wanted to her if I so chose, you know, type thing.
Yeah.
That, the last time I saw her, was a little over a decade ago.
Okay.
And I had not seen her prior to that for a good 6-7 years, something like that.
Sure.
Exact same thing. And I'm talking about like we were both in our 30s at this point. You know, we weren't like, you know, and we're just like, oh man, some things never change, you know.
She's just holding the door open for you.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm just like, I'm never, this is never going to happen. I mean, never going to happen. You know? But it was just this whole thing where, I mean, it was just I
want to make like 3 or 4 comments here, but I need to keep some friends, so I won't.
But it was just another one of those Alan moments of, hey, let's see how far I can push this thing, you know?
That's always been you pushing limits. I've always been the one.
I mean, like,
sitting
even
there.
to the point to where, like, I look back now on some of the comments that I made towards her. I mean, like, man, that was really mean. Like, I crossed the line from picking to mean. And she still came back for more all the time. It's just like, man, I really hope that at some point she found some self-esteem or something, you know? No.
Just checking. Just checking.
But yeah, you know, so again, there's another story from my my douche past of like, you know, I have multiple stories of that kind of stuff.
I got rid of that soundboard. I was going to hit you with the douchebag.
But yeah, so it's I doubt she's listening, and I'm not going to say her name. But
no, don't.
I'm not my
name no
stretch.
names.
Because, you know, the funny thing is that I've found over the years that sometimes when you say somebody's name, it like manifests them in your life again.
Yes.
And it's like, I really don't want that.
Yes,
I don't want that back in my life whatsoever.
Happened to me recently,
and I'm in a good place, so it's just kind of one of those. And again, wasn't anybody I was ever involved with in any shape, way, or form.
Yeah,
but she was always for a good 5 or 6 years. She was orbiting.
Yeah,
I mean, just like I run into her random places. I mean, just like.
You sure she wasn't stalking you?
Well, no, because she was already there when I got there, you know, or whatever. Like walking, I was like,
that
oh, look,
does not mean a thing.
You know, I ran into her. I ran into her on a date one time.
Oh no,
she was on a date.
Oh no,
did not stop anything that I did.
I bet it didn't. Knowing you, it probably got worse.
Oh man, yeah, it was funny. To me, it was funny to me. It was actually funny to the other people that I was there with. But,
I'm sure it probably wasn't.
She was
funny
not.
To him.
She was not happy, and I think he had already
decided that this was
not going. Yeah, I don't know because he didn't. He never once interjected himself in the conversation or anything, and just like, okay.
Gotcha.
So
well, it's been about an hour.
It has, and we have rambled and had a good time and talked about everything that comes to mind.
Yep, I've had a good time. Now,
I have too.
If you as a listener has not had a good time, we need you to get on Discord and
hold on before we get into that.
Okay, fine. I try to be professional, and you just
I just something that recently. Have you watched the Book of Boba Fett?
Yes.
All of it?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I should ask you this question off because it might be potential spoiler or something, but
let's give it a couple 3 weeks before we start talking about Book of Boba Fett.
All right. Another thing, I was telling you, I watched Nightmare Alley last night.
Haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I know, and it was one of those things that it's a Guillermo del Toro movie, so it's got elements of the fantastical in it, you know, even though it's set in the early 1940s and it deals with a guy that joins a carnival and then he learns how to be a mentalist and then he what happened? He becomes famous because of it, or he becomes rich because of it, and then there's a whole thing that happens that it's basically his downfall.
Yeah.
And the problem I had with this movie, it's gorgeous to begin with. Like the way it's shot, I know, but the way it's shot is like, what's her name? Kate Blanchett is in this movie, and she is shot like a femme fatale in every noir that you've seen. Where like every time that she's in a frame, everything is just slightly shadowed except the lights on her face.
Probably,
you know, it's
kind of a slightly
off.
Focus.
And it's like, you know, it's all, and what's kind of cool is that it was shot in color, but they did a black and white release of it as well. You know, nice. The noir was white.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the movie overall, even though there's something that happens early in the movie that I was like, oh yeah, this is coming back at the end. You know, it's like, no, I already know how this movie ends. Let's put it this way, you know, because of this, and it's very heavy-handed. I think that Del Toro thought that he was being clever with it, and I'm like, oh no, you just telegraphed what's going to happen because it's a 2.5 hour movie, and I never found it to be overly long. I've heard some critics say that you know, like, oh, they could have cut, but I was like, I can't think of anything they could have shortened some parts, like like all of the opening carnival stuff. They probably could have shortened down a little bit, but it still kind of feels like it jumps quite a bit. Of
like could have been 2.5 hours.
It is 2.5 hours.
Okay,
long,
could have been 3 hours.
Yeah, but it sometimes it kind of feels like a collection of scenes rather than a full story.
Gotcha.
You know that and that's there's some great performances in it. I mean, just across the board, it's great actors. You know, it's Bradley Cooper and Willem Dafoe and Ron Perlman and like I said, Cate Blanchett.
Well, you had me at Willem Dafoe,
and I mean, it's one of those. It's just like, okay, you know, it's got great performers in it.
Yeah.
And I loved it because I've talked about it here before how I love carnival and circus.
Yeah.
Culture. Yeah, I love all that stuff. You know, and this deals with sideshows and and all that stuff. And I was like, I love that. There's something about that aesthetic that I absolutely love. And I think it's worth a watch. It's on HBO Max now.
Okay.
I think it's actually still in theaters. It's been nominated for a couple Oscars, which I care less about the Oscars because
I could care less about any of those award shows. I really don't. The only ones I might watch is
I don't watch any of them anymore.
Well, like the Country Music Awards, and that's mainly because I know people who are working on those shows.
I get that,
and I kind of want to support them.
As I've gotten older, I've really
it's not the same without Brad and Carrie.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've really become tired of whatever industry has decided to pat itself on the back for 3 hours
or use it for their political stance.
Whatever it is. Yeah. I mean, it's just. And that's the biggest thing with the Oscar is that is 3 hours of Hollywood saying, look how great we are. Look how woke we are. Look how whatever, you know. And it's like, look, we're better than you. You know, this is, I think, screw you, okay? And the thing is that most of the time the movies that are nominated, either I haven't seen or I'm never going to see.
Yeah.
Or they're not as good as other stuff that I've seen during the year.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's... A lot of the movies that were nominated this year for the Oscars, I have not and will not ever see.
No.
I just...
Don't care.
Exactly. And then you go back and you look at some other stuff that won Oscars that you're going, why did this win an Oscar?
Yeah.
This was routinely...
This was a political choice.
Yeah, well, it's not even just
financial
that.
choice.
It's just like, you know, there's... Look, I know it might not be popular, but... Bohemian Rhapsody should have never been nominated for anything.
I mean, it was a good movie.
Oh. Fact that it's about Freddie Mercury, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, take all that, the fact that we have such a love affair for Freddie Mercury and all that, okay? The movie itself is not good, okay? It's poorly written. It's poorly acted for the most part. And it's got all of the stupid... Mike Myers playing a record exec saying, "Oh, there's never going to be anybody listening to Bohemian Rhapsody in a car headbanging," you know.
Okay, that made me laugh.
That
made me laugh.
Or, you know, they're not sure whether or not Freddie needs to be in the band, and so he starts singing a song, and then all of a sudden they start all harmonizing with him. It's like, this is all BS, okay? This is all like...
It's a fictionalized version of what actually happened.
But it's one of those things
they do a lot of this.
Where you sit there and you watch all this stuff and you go, this isn't even... clever. You think you're being clever with all this, but this is like biopic 101, and this is like bad biopic 101 for a lot of it, you know. And let's be honest, that movie cuts off where it should have started. You know, fine. The early Queen is fine and all, but really and truly, what is fascinating about Freddie Mercury is not his first marriage to a woman. It's everything after he came out.
True.
Okay? That's where, you know, and especially the fact of him being who he was at a time when that was not acceptable.
Yeah.
And also the fact of him having to play with that, of being coy about it for a long time before it finally happened. And I'm not even talking, and, you know, it just, I don't know. It just was not a good movie. It just wasn't a good movie. You can like it and still say it's not a good movie.
I've watched it a couple times. I enjoy it.
Definitely not Oscar worthy by
No.
any stretch of the imagination.
No, not at all.
Any stretch. Like there were other movies that were better, much better than that movie.
Or performances that were better.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, one that you talked about was Steve Carell in Foxcatcher.
Yeah.
I mean, he maybe should have at least been nominated.
Yeah, but he was just playing it to the rafters, though. I mean, that was so over the top.
That's what Carell does.
I know, but Steve Carell.
Another one that maybe should have been looked at that had Carell in it. I forget what the name of it is, but he goes to his friends to ask him to go with him to like bury his son.
Yeah,
I can't think of the name of the movie.
It's a Richard Linklater movie.
Yeah,
it's his Vietnam buddies.
Yeah,
that he goes. Yeah,
and
I have not seen that. I've heard it's really good.
I've watched it once. It's been
it's been a few years. Yeah, I know.
But I really enjoyed it, and I really thought, wow, this is a side of Steve Carell I haven't seen before.
Right.
And
I heard that. Was it Sweet Boy? Is that the name of it?
That's going to bother me. I'm going to have to look it up now.
I think it's called Sweet Boy. It's based on two books actually about this father and son. That the son was a drug addict for years, and they both wrote a book about where it's from each side of it, and they made a movie. And I've heard that that's really good as well because it is looking at from the son's side of this is why this happened. This is why he was like this for so long, and then the dad's side trying to figure out why his son is doing all this stuff, And Carell has done some really good, like he was excellent in Little Miss Sunshine. That's there have been plenty of times that he has done dramatic work that was really good, where he wasn't playing this really over the top, sensationalized version of somebody. And did you find it yet? I know it's a Richard Linklater.
I'm still looking.
And
keep talking.
Yeah, so, I know I can talk and kind of.
I'm doing the IMDb thing.
Yeah, I know. Actually, you might want to go and look at Richard Linklater. To see what movies he's done. Let's see. This was what
I heard. Welcome to Marwen was pretty good too.
Okay, look. Here's the thing about Welcome to Marwen.
Last Flag Flying is the one I'm talking about.
Is that it? Oh yeah, Last Flag. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and that's not a Linklater.
Yeah, it's him and Lawrence Fishburne, Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
Welcome to Marwen is based on a true story.
Last Flag Flying is about a Vietnam vet and his buddies that are getting together to bury his son, who was a Marine killed in the Iraqi War.
Right.
And I was like, I haven't seen this out of Carell before. So sorry, go ahead.
I was saying about Welcome to Marwen is actually based on a true story. The actual true story about what happened with this guy is much more fascinating than what they put on film.
Okay.
The problem with Welcome to Marwen is that they concentrated a little too much on this fantasy world of these dolls, of what was happening, with him, than they did about him and his relationship with the actual women in his life.
Okay.
One of the things that's actually pretty interesting about that whole thing is the guy that it's based on, because it was one of those things, he got beat really badly and lost a lot of memories, what happened prior because of the the head trauma that he sustained. And it was one of those things that come to find out, this guy was a cross-dresser.
Okay.
He had no recollection of it.
Okay.
It was kind of one of those things that, whenever he came back home, he goes and looks in this one closet. It's just full of women's clothing, and it was just kind of oh, okay. It was what's this? What's going on? Type thing, and that's not in the movie at all. It's which again, it's kind of one of those. Okay, what's going on? Him dealing with all this stuff, but there's so much more in that story, the actual real story, than what's put in the movie. Both that movie and Foxcatcher, when I saw the trailers for them, I was like, oh, so Steve Carell's is like actively lobbying for an Oscar here, you know. And it's funny is that neither one of them wound up being nominated for Oscars because people kind of looked at him and like, oh, you're trying too hard, dude. You know, this is, you know, and it's one of those things. I would love to see Steve Carell do something serious that is not over the top, that is subtle, that would really show.
I think he could pull it off. I think he just hasn't.
Right. Oh, like I said, all you got to do is go back and watch Little Miss Sunshine. He is spectacular in that movie.
Or hasn't been given the opportunity to flex those chops.
Have you ever seen The Way Back?
Okay. I think so.
Steve Carell, it's got Sam Rockwell.
Okay.
And I forget who else it is. Basically what it is that Steve Carell is dating this woman who has a teenage son, and the two of them don't really get along. And Steve Carell's kind of a dick on top of it. Like, his character is really kind of, you know. Okay. As it opens up with this whole thing, like they're going to the stay at like a vacation, you know, like a vacation rental or whatever, you know. And Carell's giving the kid like this whole thing about, you know, your problem is that, you know, you need to be a 10, you know, in life in order to get somewhere. And he goes, and you're just kind of a 6. You know, it's kind of one of those where it's just real like talking down. And he couldn't find out, you know, he's having an affair with somebody else, and, you know, and all this kind of stuff. And the mom won't leave him because she's afraid she's in her 40s and can't find somebody else. It's typical stuff. But what's really cool is that he goes to this water park, and Sam Rockwell works there, and he's kind of that like older dude who's like, you know, kind of takes him under his wing, you know, and it's a whole, you know, like, it's a really good movie. It's a really good movie.
Okay.
But Steve Carell plays kind of a subtle dickhead in it, you know, where it's another one of those things where like, wow, Steve Carell is really a good actor in this. Plus, The Way Back is just a good movie. It reminds me a little bit of Adventureland. I don't know if you saw that one, which I love that movie, you know. But yeah, it's
all right, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, and have you ever? When I was looking at what Richard Linklater there, did you ever see Everybody Wants Some?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's been called a spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused.
Oh, you've talked about this.
Yeah,
before.
It takes place in the 80s, and it's set in college at this baseball team. You know, college baseball. It's really good.
Okay,
man.
Remind me. I'll have to see if it's streaming somewhere.
I think it is, but it's definitely worth a look because it really does. Like I said, it's got that whole vibe of Dazed and Confused. You know, because it's a period piece. It's set in the early '80s, and it's just really good. It's got what's her name in it, Chloe, or the one that was in Zombieland Double Tap. Chloe.
I can't.
You know what I'm talking about? She was the real airheaded one.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I just can't think of her name right now.
She was so good in both of those movies. Yeah. I love that in Double Tap where she's talking about, I had this idea, you know, I know you guys don't think I'm smart, but I had this idea about a car service where you like use your own car and, you know, and go and pick up people, and they're like, well, what keeps them from killing you? Well, you know, there's a rating system. It's one of those things where, like, I never really thought about it that way with Uber and Lyft.
Yeah, you just go and pick up a random stranger.
I know. It's like, and what's to keep them from killing you? There's a rating system.
Remember when we were kids, our parents told us
never get in a car with a stranger. Now you do it all the time.
And now, you know, you use an app to get in a car with a stranger.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and I can't say much because it's helped me pay the bills for the last few years, you know. But
I have honestly never used either one of those services.
I mean, it is what it is, you know. It's. I have driven more than I've actually ridden in a Lyft, but it is one of those things. Like when I was in Vegas last summer, I used a Lyft everywhere we went, you know, and it's great because the thing is you think about how much a cab ride would be from the Strip to downtown, you know, down to Fremont Street, and it would just be astronomically expensive as opposed to, oh, hey, I can, you know, this person can give like a ton of rides
the fact
a day.
That cabs are so overpriced as it is.
I know.
And
whether or not they actually show up is another thing.
Yeah,
That's
and show up where they say they're going to show up.
And
and if they're not going to cheat you by taking the longest route possible.
Exactly.
Which is one of the reasons why Uber and Lyft have been so successful because of how dirty and shady the taxi cab companies
Exactly. I agree with that. And it's and believe me, I never had a whole lot of love for the taxi companies to begin with, but after driving for Lyft for just a couple of years, I hated taxi companies because the taxis started playing dirty games where they would block off all the pickup spots, and stuff. I mean, it was just like all you're doing is you're just showing how much of a dickhead you really are. Yeah. You're not, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you going and parking in this area that's designated for pickup and staying there without being called. And blocking all you're doing is you're blocking up traffic here on a main thoroughway because I'm going to have to pull up right next to you and wait for my ride, and they're not going to because they can't see me right off the bat. They're not going to just go ahead and jump into a cab. All you're doing is being a bunch of dickheads, and that's
I've got a way to fix this. Yeah. I'm going to start a company where we get a fleet of 4-wheel drive SUVs. Mm-hmm. And we put huge cattle catchers in the front of them.
Just move them right out of the way.
That huge bumper. And we put winches on both sides.
There you go.
And we just go and we pull up and we clean out the pickup zones.
There you
go. We literally just, it'd be better? The tow trucks that they use for repossession.
Oh, yeah.
To where you don't even have to get out of the truck to hook them up.
Right up underneath.
Yeah, you just back up, pull them out, and just drive off with them.
That's true. That picks them up.
That's a good business model there.
Yeah. As long as you can get it, financed.
I'm in a cab. I've been kidnapped. How have you been kidnapped? I'm being towed. You shouldn't have parked somewhere you shouldn't have been.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right. So now we're almost at an hour and a half after I derailed us getting out of here once before.
So, folks, if you enjoyed this episode, and we hope you did. We're glad you did. If you didn't, you need to go over to Discord and let Barry know that he should have showed up tonight.
That's right. And if you really hated this episode, go and tell your enemies. I mean,
tell all your
enemies. Tell your in-laws, whatever it is,
Yeah, exactly. Well, guys, check us out. We're still on Facebook somehow.
Unfortunately, believe me, a conversation we were having off mic earlier. I have been to the point of figuratively dragging a can of gasoline into Facebook and just burning figuratively,
not in actual reality,
and burning the entire thing down for a while now because I am so sick
could just delete
Facebook. I know.
But we are on Instagram. We are on Discord.
I think it's a lot more fun to go over there and start a fire and see how many people survive. That's
figuratively.
Yeah. Believe me, I have all kinds of ways of getting people to unfriend me on Facebook.
He's found all of them. Believe me. But we're on Discord. We're on Instagram. Come over and hang out with us on Discord.
Yes, absolutely.
We have been a little absent as of late because
there's been a lot going on.
Work has been absolutely a nightmare. I have been trying to get over there and answer folks talking to us. So
yeah,
big wave to miss. So
there you go. On Facebook or Discord.
Discord,
yeah. Discord, definitely. Discord, yeah. Discord's weird because I will get like every third notification of something.
Yeah, me too.
I don't get all of them. All of a sudden I'll go over and I'm like, oh, wait, look, there's a whole thread here that I had no clue even existed.
Exactly.
Like what happened, and just day-to-day life has kind of kept me away from there for a little bit. But go and check us out. Discord, Facebook, Instagram. We're still trudging along over there.
Yep. You can.
Did you see
You can even email us. We still have an email.
The whole, the Super Bowl halftime show, with Dre and Snoop and all that the media is trying to say it was a celebration of millennial music.
No,
it's not. It's like everybody that was on that stage, except for Kendrick Lamar or Gen X.
Yeah, and
every single one of them.
And we all listened to. I'm sorry, the millennials don't know who Mary J is.
I know.
The second I saw Mary J, I was like, "Oh, Mary J!"
I kept, that meme of the penguin sitting with his arms, saying his boomers watching the halftime show.
I was the one who posted it.
I've seen that all over the place, but it's one of those things like, no, that is legit. That legit was a photograph of my dad during that 15 minutes of like, and I kept saying, Mary J. Blige is going to come on this thing and she's going to start singing and you're going to be like, how have I never seen this person before?
Yeah.
oh, she can't be that good. It's like, no, dude, she's that good. She's been that good for 30 years. Okay,
Did he change his mind?
I think he actually got up and like stopped watching it at some point. You know, I mean, he just on and on and on and on. And I was like, I don't understand. Who are they marketing to? Me. That's who they're. Finally, we got a Gen X halftime performance.
Well, there was even a meme about that. It was like, finally, they're not doing a halftime show for old people.
Oh, I know.
Seconds later, it hit
everybody's
us.
like, wait. I know. But see, it took us until we were in our 40s and 50s before they finally did something for us.
Everybody was making fun of 50 Cent.
Yeah.
And, how he's chunked up a little bit. And it was like, how did he there's actually video of him walking out like a 30, 45 seconds before he was supposed to be in his position. He just walks out, reaches up, grabs the bar, and literally just does a curl up, and hangs himself upside down, and then he's doing that now.
That was because he wasn't announced beforehand.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, because I figured there was going to be some surprise there, because there almost always is. I was never like, why is 50 Cent here? I was like, couldn't they have gotten somebody? Where's Cube? Where's anybody?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
Cube would have been a nice.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen Cube show up.
But
I would have loved to have seen Cube and DJ Yella and what's the other one? MC Ren.
Yeah,
show up and them have
Yeah, that would have
been
nice.
Let Snoop sit in for Easy and let them do like an
or
NWA,
even Eminem. Eminem sat in for Easy a time or two.
Yeah, there's.
But
yeah,
it's not the same.
It's not the same by any stretch. It's
he gets that high register voice going though.
But it's still one of those things close. Too where let's be honest. I mean, even though he was never a member of MWA, Snoop is adjacent to them. I mean, it's one of those where it's like, no, dude, if you want to put him in Easy spot, absolutely. So,
one of my favorite memes was 50 Cent hanging upside down. It said, due to inflation, 50 Cent is now known as $1.75.
Yeah, I know. And I get it. He's not as lean as he used to be.
Did you catch the two nods to Tupac?
Yeah.
The piano riff.
Right.
Right.
Which I thought was so funny that he goes over and sits down and plays like he wasn't playing that piano.
No. Actually, none of those musicians were playing any of those instruments.
Really?
If you look at all the drum kits, none of them are mic'd up. None of the guitars are plugged into amps.
Well, it's just like the whole. Remember when the Chili Peppers?
It's all pre-recorded, and it's being played through their in-ears.
Right, but
it's because of it's got to be synchronized.
Right, absolutely. It's got to be in this time. It's got to happen. Yeah, I know. I get it, and I'm not mad about that. It is what it is.
Yeah.
A few years ago, whenever the Chili Peppers, did their set in the middle of the Bruno Mars for some strange reason, and of course Flea didn't even have his bass plugged in. That was like, it's like you don't even have a
honestly
jack in
the
this,
last Super Bowl that was actually performed, and you could tell it was being performed, was Prince.
Maybe,
and
I don't know, because I'll be honest, I haven't watched a lot of the halftime shows.
Dude, that Prince halftime.
I know
a lot of people are saying this was the greatest halftime show of all time. It's not.
Go
back and watch the Prince.
Here's the thing about the Prince halftime show, and it's the same issue I had with this one as well as several other ones that have happened. Okay, the Prince halftime show is good. I would not hold on. Listen to how much I love Prince. Okay. The problem that halftime show has is the same problem that this one and a lot of other ones have had, is the sound quality. If you go back, no.
Yeah, the sound quality's not great.
If you go
Prince
back,
was actually
he was
performing
good. He was.
Whereas this was a pre-record.
I remember watching that Prince in 2007 or whenever it was, watching it live and just being blown away by it. But then I went back a few years later and watched it again because the whole performance is on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's not as good as I remember. It's good. It's far better than so many other ones that I've seen. And it's Prince, and just because it's Prince and because I know who Prince, as far as being a musician and an entertainer, it's great. But it's not as good as everybody remembers it being.
I go back and watch it once a year, and I disagree. I disagree.
Even, I'm a big fan because, we just 20 years ago, we had U2 playing at the, and I have gone back and rewatched that. And it's not as good as I remember it being. But part of the reason that one is remembered so well is because it was the first Super Bowl after 9/11, and they did that whole tribute, you know, and people were like, oh, it was good. Don't get me wrong. It was really good. But again, sound quality is not there. there are just some production issues and, and that
I'm
kind
going
of
to stop
stuff.
you.
Okay.
I'm going to let you finish. But Prince had the greatest halftime show of all
All
time.
All right, Kanye. But yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah. Let's put it this way: if we were going to start ranking, like the best halftime shows.
Okay,
of all time,
so who would be
Prince would go at the top.
Who would be number 2 after Prince?
I'd probably put that U2 show.
Okay, so Prince is number 1,
and then I would
U2
put,
is
and
number
then
2.
I would put this last one right after that
as number 3.
Yeah, and then I would probably put that Bruno Mars performance was really good.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you him for number 4.
And I know you're going to be like, really, but if you go back and rewatch it, it actually was really good. It was the Katy Perry performance.
With the dancing sharks?
With Left Shark, yes. Go back and watch it. It's really good. It may not be your type of music, okay? But it was really good. Gaga's was pretty good, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I would put them in that 5-6 somewhere in there.
On the Katy Perry thing?
Yeah.
I'm going to stop you.
Okay.
Folks, it's been really good having you here and listening to the show. I am one of your hosts, Big Dave.
I'll tell you who I wouldn't put in there.
Who's that?
The Who. Springsteen's wasn't that good. When they decided that Tom Petty's was all right, the Stones was terrible.
Yeah,
theirs was terrible. I mean, it's like the McCartney was okay. It's after the whole Janet Jackson thing happened, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, we have to fix this. Go to all the boomers.
Yeah,
and they just started one after another, after another, after another, and it was just like, oh my God, this is terrible. So yeah. Anyway, I know you're trying to get us out of here. So.
No, I just wanted to stop the Katy Perry thing.
It was good. I'm telling you,
so.
it was a really good halftime performance.
Okay.
So. Well, it was. Let's put it. She brought out Missy Elliott. I mean, if nothing else,
if it had been a full show of Missy Elliott,
I would love to see
and Timberlake and Magoo and all of those guys, that would have been terrific.
Yeah, but that's.
But we didn't get.
You mean Timberland, not Timberlake?
Oh, sorry,
Timberland and Magoo. Yeah,
I'm tired, and the fat guy's starting to get hungry. So we got to wrap this up.
All right. So, anyways, guys, thank you so much. I'm Alan Smith.
I'm the other guy, Big Dave,
and we will see you next time.
See ya.